real quick. Before we get started, how awesome was the Michael movie?
Dude, it was great.
It was fantastic.
It was amazing, yeah. It was so
Wasn't
good.
it?
I felt like I was at a concert the whole time, yeah.
Favorite performance?
Ooh, the last one, for sure.
The last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Bad.
Dude, come on.
Do you like how on the internet everybody's saying that they think Michael Jackson made a cameo when Jafar Jackson does a little bad turn?
Oh, dude, for sure. I got the chills, yeah. During that one scene,
Yeah.
I got the chills, yeah. I felt it right there. I was like, oh, no, this is too good.
How well does Jafar Jackson do in this role?
He did amazing, for sure. I think
awesome.
Oscar nomination at the very least.
It's gotta
Yeah.
be.
Mhm.
It's gotta be.
Well, he was made for the role.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
He's a Jackson.
Yeah.
He's a Jackson.
I mean, you can't top that.
No.
Even
you
like
can't.
people because there's like a lot of people that audition for the said role, and it's like,
Including
well, yeah,
Including me.
right?
Including
Yeah, I
me.
got that audition too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually was my first audition.
Started
It
off
was-
strong.
It was so funny story. I seen the Michael posting in 2022. Yeah, the summer 2022, and this one I didn't know how to audition. So I sent in the most terrible tape of all time, and to see my audition for it, it's not even in the movie. Maybe it was, but it got cut. So anyway, I sent the most terrible audition tape in the history of auditions.
Just like raw and uncut.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But then at this time, Jafar Jackson already had the role. So I don't even know why I was auditioning in the first place. But no, I recommend everybody gotta go watch this movie. Even if you're not a fan, you gotta experience it. You know what I mean? And I've seen it about like 5 times.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. it's-
Really?
Yeah.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a watch then.
Michael is a must watch, and it's already made what, 700 mil?
I don't even know. I haven't checked.
It's
700
actually
mil.
it's the only one. The only one above it is Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
And it's like Bohemian is like 910 million, and then Michael's like 700 million, and then it jumps down to like the Elvis is like 200 million.
Oh,
it's like
wow.
not even like a close gap.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So this
Very
is the
far
second
off.
highest music biopic of all time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Crazy.
Favorite style movie too.
Crazy.
I love that style of movie.
Go watch Michael, man. My favorite performance is Human Nature.
Oh, yes. That one was
Why?
so good.
Why? And then the lights go off
Oh,
at the
man.
Y cues.
Yeah.
And I love how accurate the movie was to the actual live victory
Mhm.
tour.
Yeah.
Like that's what I love about the movie too, is that they really did a good job at bringing back and revitalizing all of the old Michael things.
Paid a lot of respect to all those old things,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
A lot of those concerts,
yeah.
yeah. It was like a 1-for-1. I was watching them afterwards as well, and yeah, it was great.
Crazy.
Mhm.
And they love to keep it in like the family like that.
Yeah.
I love when
Yeah.
they do styles like
Oh
that.
yeah, just keep it in the family
Yep.
for sure. That's why I don't see another Jackson. I don't see anybody else playing this role besides Jafar Jackson.
Yeah, no.
His own nephew did really good. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So Michael is definitely movie of the year.
To like a random like side subject of that is like it's more TV obviously than film, but I don't know if you guys have seen the show BMF before. But to bring in you know, his son, like he wasn't even an actor.
Exactly.
And 50 Cent
Little
sent him
Meech.
to acting school.
Exactly. Little
just
Meech
to
put him
play
to work.
him.
50 put Little Meech
Yeah.
to work.
Mm.
Da Vinci, he's another one of my favorite actors. What he does with Terry in that show
Mhm.
is
Oh my
just
God.
crazy.
He's such a good actor.
Yes. And that's the hardest theme song too. I think we were way trying to get in too many.
I love all of 50 Cent shows too.
Dude,
like
I love
the
'em.
Power Universe.
I
all
love
of
'em.
that. Like
I love
I'm
'em
a big
all.
TV guy. So
I'm a huge TV guy.
Mhm.
I can't wait for this next season of Raising Kanan.
Oh my gosh, it's close. It's about to come out.
June 12th.
Yep. It's I was very sad that they didn't finish BMF with
Yeah.
the whole,
little drama
yeah,
thing,
little
right.
thing, because they had left so many cliffhangers
They
at
did.
the end of that season that it was supposed to it needed another season.
And
yeah.
the ending of BMF felt like to me, yes, it was semi-accurate to how the brothers eventually fell off. Like they had a big old argument before they went to jail and before they got busted. But so backstory, it was about 2 brothers who ran the drug world for
Okay.
like 20 years.
Okay.
They were drug kingpins all the way from LA to Atlanta.
Okay.
So I feel like it got closure, but it didn't really give us enough closure. You know what I mean? It was rushed.
Well, yeah, and if you watch like the documentary, it's so accurate to like what actually happened. Like, I mean, they had tackled the drug market so strong that when Meech and Terry got locked up, their net worth was like $100 million.
It was.
Oh, they were like going to the club spending like 40 grand
City
a
to
night.
city.
Damn.
Yeah,
City to city too.
Yeah, they started in Detroit and then they went to like Atlanta and like tackled the drug market there before. Like,
City to city. They ran an
crazy.
entire operation, and the operation was called BMF.
It was like impossible
Yeah.
to take them down.
Black
Really?
Mafia
Yeah.
family. Yeah.
And this was all real. This is
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Two
Oh, yeah.
brothers from the south side of Detroit, man.
Damn, dude. Okay,
Yeah.
I gotta watch
They were
this.
raised
I'm
up. They
missing
were
out over
raised up
here, yeah.
poor, and they didn't want.
Yeah.
They didn't want the life like that, and
Yeah.
they changed their lives forever. And but they like grew strong. They lived large for like 30, 40 years. They didn't get caught till they're almost 40.
Never.
Wow.
And
Not a
they
trace.
lived large the whole time while the feds chased them.
That's
And they just
insane,
couldn't
dude.
get caught. Their operations, they had custom-made vehicles to hide all their drugs in, and like just to like find where their drug stash was in a car, they'd have to like click the radio 3 times, turn the steering wheel to the left, and then shift it to reverse.
Yeah.
And then like the trunk would open. It's like hidden compartment kind of thing. Oh, they tackled it, dude. He
Yeah.
wanted to be, as he always said, the black. What do you say?
Black Mafia family.
No, it was
BMF never dies. Or
Black Pablo Escobar, dude.
Black
That's what-
Pablo
yeah,
Escobar.
That's who he
Little
wanted to
Meech.
be. Yeah, that's what he always said. Yeah.
Hey man, speaking of that, man, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3 of the Method Podcast. I'm your host Omari,
Jordan.
and today we got our very first guest. We're making history. We got our very first special guest here at this nice little round table discussion. We got Mr. Terry Pierce is in the building. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, brother. I'm
sir.
doing great. I appreciate y'all having me today.
Man,
Of course, man. Thank you for being here.
man. So let's kind of just deep dive right into it, man. You grew up in Alaska. Kind of give us a little bit real quick before we get started. Just your background and coming up in Alaska. I don't really meet too many people from Alaska.
Yeah, it's a pretty rare occurrence. Whenever I tell someone I'm from Alaska here in Vegas, even before I moved to Vegas, you'd tell someone, you'd be like, "Wow, like, what is that like?" And I'm like, "Cold and dark." Like, like it's I wouldn't change it now. It definitely taught me a lot growing up in such an isolated place. And it does have such a strong sense of community there. But it's hard to live there. You can't drive anywhere. Every time you come to what we call the lower 48, you have to fly 4 hours minimum to get to Seattle. So it's a commitment to travel. And it's winter a lot there. And in the wintertime, the sun doesn't come up. And in the summertime, the sun don't go down. So
Right? It's up at like 11 o'clock in the night, right?
Oh
It's
yeah,
still right outside.
you leave the bar at midnight. It'll be like broad daylight. You're like, and when it does get dark, it's like dusk.
Yeah.
You can still see
It's
just
not-
fine.
yeah,
It's
you're
not
fine.
even dark.
Wow.
To tie it to like what I do now though, acting wise, like I always had an interest in it, but growing up in a place like that, it's just
There wasn't a whole
it
lot
wasn't
of it out
feasible.
there. Yeah, especially in
it's just-
Alaska.
It's just not something that you can wrap your head around.
Is there like an acting community there? Because you're in Anchorage, right?
Yeah.
Is there an acting community at all there?
Like tiny bit theater wise,
Mm-hmm.
but like you're not gonna like meet your agent there, and you're not gonna like I mean now in the world of self tapes maybe it'd be a little more realistic.
Right.
But even so, like, could you imagine like getting a call back to LA from Alaska, and like you have to hop on 2 flights just to not get the part every time? Like it just wouldn't be realistic.
Yeah. No.
And when I got here, I was still, a lot of my background's culinary. I was a chef for a really long time. And when I saw it being a realistic opportunity, once I got to Vegas, I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait, and I couldn't believe how long I waited to commit to it, and because it just opened my heart and my mind to what I should be doing.
Like, what age did you feel you wanted to start acting? Do you remember?
I don't know if it was necessarily like a pinpoint age of when I wanted to start acting. It was more of just like the love I had for film and TV. Like just like you can get so lost in a good TV show or a good movie, and it represents like humanity in every sense of like that's what I don't want to be as a person, or that's what I want to be as a person. And like you can just get so lost in it and forget all about your day to day, and that's what's so incredible about it.
So you just grew up loving it.
Yeah, I just grew up loving the idea of it, and then probably 5-6 years ago, I was like, man, I really want to do this, and it wasn't in the realm of possibility, and until recent, and I'm glad I made the jump, for sure.
I kind of want to double back a little bit.
Yeah.
So you said
No, you're
you
good.
have a culinary background.
Yeah.
What was your favorite dishes you made growing up? And how did that culinary background get started for you?
Ironically enough, growing up, my dad was an extremely good like grill cook.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you'd be always like steaks and kebabs, and he was a great cook. But he's very OCD like I am, so he wouldn't like let me cook with him kind of thing. which was kind of a weird flip because when he bought a food truck, he had me design the entire menu. And I was like, oh, wow, you know, how it's turned around. But I loved cooking when I was young. I remember from a young age for like Mother's Day, I was making like fettuccine for my mom kind of thing. And like once I started cooking and really getting serious with it, that became like the gift everyone wanted. Like just, oh, come on over and just make dinner for my birthday, for Mother's Day, for you know, just do that instead. And then I was a chef at a 5-star restaurant at 19. So
how was that?
Man, shout out Kincaid Grill in Anchorage. But it taught me everything I knew really from scratch. Yeah, it represents. I don't know if you guys ever seen the show The Bear.
Yeah.
But it's so the hierarchy of being a chef is so accurately displayed in that show. I always tell this like story of when, just like a quick side story, when I first became a chef at a fine dining restaurant. My chef, there was like a sous vide fried buttermilk chicken dish, and he like decorated the plate with gravy kind of thing, and I'd put the gravy on the mashed potatoes, and he came over, and he was like so upset. He was like trying to contain himself, and I remember him being like, "You put gravy on the mashed potatoes?" I was like, "Yeah, chef." And I was like, "Sorry, chef." And he was like, you know, kind of thing. And he was like, "We put gravy around the mashed potatoes." He's like, "This is Kincaid Grill, not KFC." And I was just like, "Yeah, chef, right away." And like, kind of like whipped up the dish real quick.
That's crazy.
But that's actually what originally brought me to Vegas was I moved here to work at Gordon Ramsay's restaurant. So I was a sous chef there for a handful of time.
Did you ever meet Gordon?
Only once.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, and he's...
How was that?
Oh, he's such a nice...
I hear he's...
Such a nice guy.
He was actually nice?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because the common denominator that I always hear is that Gordon Ramsay is like this villain. It's like the antagonist who, like, you a bad cook, he'll call you out for it.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, that's how they designed it to be. Like, he's so good at playing the role of the scary
That's
chef.
his persona, yeah.
But when he, like, comes to his restaurants, he'll like shut them down and like throw like parties for employees and stuff like that. He definitely is good to his people for sure.
That's dope.
But he definitely plays that role extremely well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, he's great at it. That's all I see him as. Yeah, like you were just saying, I see him as like the mean chef.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if I met him, I'd be scared. Like, oh,
He's like the wittiest one-liners too.
Really?
Yeah. Like I'm like one of my favorites is like this cook is like trying to figure out what he wants from him, and he's like, "Well, I'm not a mind reader." Talking to Gordon Ramsay, and he's like, "Yeah, and you're not a chef either." And I was like, "Eh."
Now, follow-up question: since you were a chef, or you still are a chef too, would you ever be in a show like that, The Bear?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I would love that. I even actually have that just because like you know you want to tie in some like random special skills onto your acting resume, and like because I could just hop in there and just you know I have insane
for the whole set.
I would love for the whole set to do something like that. It would tie like my entire life story into what I'm doing now in a sense, you know, like it would be so cool to do something like that.
Okay. See ya. Yeah.
From culinary, so making the jump from culinary to acting, at what point in your life? Because you kind of mentioned it growing up, Alaska is. You don't really have all the resources for good acting. You mentioned that when you moved to Vegas, you kind of made that shift. What moment for you, what moment for you did you really decide that you wanted to try this acting thing out? Leave culinary to the side and try this acting thing out. What was that moment for you like?
Weirdly enough, it was before the last season of Stranger Things came out. I was rewatching I know, very random, but I was watching the earlier seasons of that, and that kind of like guided me into watching like behind the scenes clips and like just the day to day between being on set for those actors. And I was like, I really want to do this. And I was like, I can do that. You know what I mean? And I was like, I want to do that. And I started looking up, you know, schools to go to here and classes. And I remember when I sprung it on my lady, I was like, I'm going to start going to acting school. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to come do it. I'm going to make the jump. And I started going, and I remember being just so scared. And I got like really obsessed on the subject of like, honestly, the wrong things. I was like breathing exercises and a lot of things that like help you in a sense, but not what matters most by a long shot, obviously. And I remember asking Frank that my second class, I was like, I feel like I have an unhealthy obsession with it right now. I was like, I feel like that's all I can think about. It's all I'm studying. And he was like, the most important thing is just to know your character's truth. You know what I mean? And as time went on in classes, obviously, you know, you learn more and more, and things get skewed with what's important. And now it's just like, I remember that first moment of, you know, the inner monologue happening as a character, and it was like surreal. I was like, I wasn't even thinking like me just now. You know what I mean? And I think it was the scene, the box, where we had like all just recently started going there, and we were like, it was like that breakup scene where like they're packing the box, and we're like, what's in the box kind of thing. And
I think we just missed that one.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was like, and it like clicked, and I was like really thinking like the character, and I had practiced so much for that to be a dramatic scene. Yeah. And Nina's like, we're gonna do this as a comedy today, and I was like, what? Like, how? Yeah. Like, and I was just like, and it really like threw my sense off entirely. And it actually ended up being pretty funny, and it turned out pretty good. But yeah, back to making the jump, it was like one of the greatest decisions I've ever made. It changed my life.
And you haven't looked back since?
Oh no, it's like all I can see. It's actually like the first time in my life where, you know, with being a chef, it was always like, how much money can I make in this role and this and this and that. And like, it's the first time in my life where money wasn't the priority. I was just like, I just love doing this.
That's how you know you're in the right direction. Yeah. When you stop thinking about money and feeling like you need that to get somewhere.
It was like not even a thought anymore. I was just like, oh wow, just like, you know, I'm actually like giving money away to do this, and you know, like
giving a lot of money.
Yeah, because I just want to be doing this so bad, like.
Want to be paying for it. So from culinary to acting to the classes, what's that first project look like for you?
So the first project I did that I can't talk too much about in depth quite yet. Okay. I can talk about the projects coming after it, which we can dive into.
Yeah. So what was the experience like at the set of that project?
I can definitely touch on that. It was nerve-wracking, but incredible. The director is a very raw style, like, you know, he likes to get it in one take kind of thing. You know, obviously that's not always how it works out. And I only had 2 lines, and it was just so much fun. Like, it was just so organized, and everyone was so nice, and they treat you so good. It was a fast-paced set, so it was a lot of show up and wait kind of thing, because, you know, when you only have 2 lines, you're not the star of the show by any means.
Oh, you're here. Get going now.
Right. All right. You did your part. Now get out. That kind of thing. But no, it was so welcoming, and the person that had gotten me that role, I had actually was talking to her that day, and she was a treat herself, and they're just so welcoming, and they like we always talk about. Even from like the casting director to that point, they just want to see you do good so bad. They're your biggest fans in that moment, and. You know, once the nervousness wore off, it was surreal, and it was like it was shot on the Strip too, so it was like this like cut off section of the Strip, so you have like just random tourists like in it too, like walking by, and like, you know, you're doing your set with, you know, the real world around you too. So just being the center of that was I had done a background role when I first started this. And I just remember being on set for that. I did Hack season 5. I was there for like 2 days, and I was like, I remember watching the actors in the middle, and I was like, that's where I want to be. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. I was like one and done with that. I was like, I need to be right there. Like,
I want to touch on that too. I kind of had that same experience so I just came off a shoot, and the shoot was like they needed an actor to walk in a casino because they're shooting a documentary, and so they need an actor to walk into, is it the Golden Nugget? I believe it's the Golden Nugget. They need an actor there to walk just for walking, and my day was crazy. So I get a text at like 9 o'clock in the morning saying, hey, we need an actor. Would you mind be willing to do this? And we need you to come in theoretically today at 4.
Oh yeah, there's no turnaround time. It's like, we need you here now.
I'm like, okay, cool. So after work, ironically, I had a wardrobe in my car already ready. So I said, okay, cool. Ready. Pull up. I'm here. What do you need from me to do? And honestly, when I got there, it felt like I was such like a lead actor in that moment, even though I didn't have any lines. But it felt really cool to me because they needed me to walk. As I'm getting chased by a security guard all throughout the entire casino, they just needed me to walk. So I get to thinking, I'm getting ready. I get there, I'm getting dressed. Then I realize I don't got nothing for this character. You know what I mean? I don't got no, because he doesn't have any dialogue. So I getting distressed. I start texting the acting coach. I'm like, listen, what's going on? What's going on with this dude? And she's like, okay, why is he back in the casino? Because he's supposed to steal some keys, or he's supposed to get chased down. She's like, okay, let's dive into that. Why? Why is he there? So once I kind of get that, I'm like, okay.
The motivation for a background role. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's
and
incredible.
and you don't have any lines. So I got a funny story I'm going to tell you. So I get the character down. She kind of helps me in a moment. I get the character. She tells me everything I need. I'm thinking I'm finna do it one way. They say, hey, we're about to do it this way instead. Great. It's like you said. Great. All right, cool. Now I got to swing it on the fly. Get through another way. Okay, at the end of the day, I'm a grown man. We're all professionals. You can't cry about it. Yeah, anyway. So.
Got to handle that redirect,
right,
regardless
right.
of the scale of the role.
So I'm standing there. I'm walking back and forth. I got the AD right here. The set guys, they're right down the hallway. So I'm standing there, and I'm getting the character. I'm getting the focus. I'm like, okay, I'm going to name him this. He came back in the casino because of this. He robbed the keys because of this. He's chasing around because, even though he's not really chasing, he's walking around because of this. So he has a different walk. So I'm standing there for like 7 minutes because there's downtime as we're waiting for my cue to go. And it's everybody. So it's everybody in the casino just looking at me, just watching, just looking at me like, who the fuck is that guy over there just walking crazy? And I look suspicious as you can possibly look. I got a red cap on. I got some jeans and some boots. So I'm standing there looking suspicious. Security guard right there by this camera. So the guard, he's literally watching me the entire time. And like he's standing there like the entire time, just sizing up this random dude just walking throughout the set. Mind you, all the guards knew that the documentary crew, they're filming.
Right.
So, but he didn't know that I was shooting.
Part of
so
it,
the guard's just standing there just watching. And he doesn't see the AD there. He's standing there just watching me the entire time. And I see him, but in character, I'm busy trying to lock in. I'm focusing. I'm developing. There's so many things going on internally that he doesn't see. But I see him. My human body sees him, but I'm not paying him no attention. 5 minutes later, I get a tap on my shoulder. Hey, sir, you need to leave. I look back. I'm like, what? He's like, hey, sir, you need to leave. And then right now I get a cue. So the guard come up, a guard come here, and a guard come here. They're about to kick me out of the casino.
You're acting real dicey.
Right, right. They're about to
That's
kick
how
me
you
out
know
of-
you're in character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're going to kick me out of the casino. I'm like, wait, no. And so the AD takes off his head. He's like, what are you guys doing? He's like, he's with me. They're like, oh, my God, we're so sorry.
And you're like, and
Yeah. But that process,
Right.
like you mentioned, just having people watch you in
It's
a
a trip.
casino and having people like just see me, and I'm walking through downtown, I'm walking through the casino. That process was fun, man. And I hope that, I feel like every actor should get a role like that where less is more. You know what I mean? Where what can you really deliver? Because in that moment in time, I'm thinking, how do I get his walk down? Well, how do we walk? So that was pretty cool for
Hey,
me.
man, they believed you in that moment, so that means you
Yeah.
did something right.
I was
You
gonna
know?
get kicked out the
Yeah, they're
fucking
about
golden
it.
nugget.
86 you from the casino. Right there.
Dude, it's crazy. But you kind of mentioned it there. I want to talk about the audition process today, right? You've done plenty of auditions. I want to know from what's your audition process, and what do you really use to nail like a good audition? Like, what's the process you go through creatively once you get the script, once you read the script, and then once you deliver it on tape? What's that process look like for you?
Yeah, I actually, I go extremely.
Meat of the show, baby.
Yeah. Diving in. I actually go extremely in depth for an audition. I almost go so far in depth that it's like I got the role already. You know, I want it to be so genuine. I create the character, the backstory, the motivation, why I'm there. Why, because obviously, like Frank always says, it's not happenstance, but why I'm there, what do I want, why do I want it, and how I'm gonna get it. Objective, super objective, all those things. I actually will memorize the script last. That actually is, it comes last to me. I'll go through the script and I'll break it down and figure out what is the whole concept of the script, and then just start diving into working on the character. I mean, to the extent of, like, there was an audition I had that required no talking. It was a commercial audition, and I wrote like a 4-page backstory just for that character that has no words. And I mean, down to like, what makes him tick, what he likes, what he dislikes, how the world views him, how he views the world. There's an acting book I read, and yeah, he says to take 5 things for your character that he like views the world, you know, like unfair or, you know, admirable or instinctable or any of those things, and apply that to the character. But yeah, I get really raw with it. I take an audition in the sense of I already got the role in my mind, you know. I already got the audition or the interview in my mind. So now I'm going to go do the role. Now I'm going to take this, whether it's a self-tape or in person, I'm going to take this 10, 15 minutes I have to do the audition and really soak the time. Like, you got it. You're there. Never rush your performance. You know, this is your time to shine kind of thing. And there's a couple actors that I like quote when I like think about my audition process. You know, one of my favorites says, you know, it's like treat it like a 5-minute play. Like, you're going in there, you've prepared something special for these people, casting director, you know, whoever's there, producer, director, and just do it. You know, you're prepared. You're so prepared, and this is your special performance. You never go in there trying to impress. Obviously, you know, you want to leave a good impression, but do the character how you built the character. And because even if you don't get that role, like down the line, you know, they'll be like, oh man, this guy's audition was perfect for this role years later, kind of thing. So go in there and do the character as you want to do it. Never do it how you think they want to see it. And I apply that so strictly to my performance. And I want to show what I got, you know. I'm trying to remember the actor's name. She was the daughter of Leonardo DiCaprio in his newest movie. But you have I believe she says you have nothing to fear and everything to offer. So you're never trying to impress, you know. You just go do what you do. You're prepared. Like, this is your moment, and just go in there and nail it. Go in there and absolutely nail it. I mean, down to like I wear like specific shoes for characters and like highlight the script in a different color for characters. Like, there's so many things that define a person when you're creating the person. And so I have such an extensive process. So when it's like a quick turnaround of like, this is due tonight, you know, so that's like my whole day. I'm like, okay, now we're writing an in-depth backstory, like how they were raised, what they, you know, their economical classes, you know, what's their backstory, what's their job, what's their family life, what do they drive, what's their favorite car. I mean, I go so in depth.
So you waste like no time. You immediately get into it. As soon as you get that audition, it's like, it's real right there.
And then lastly, I'll memorize the script because the words come later.
Yeah, the words they're just words on a page.
You just need to know how to feel. And when it comes to like creating a backstory, you want the backstory to be something that affects your character emotionally, not intellectually. Like, you know, how does their backstory resonate with you, and how is that emotion expressed in every word you're saying in said scene? So, you know, I've gotten 6-page auditions, and I've got half-page auditions, and I put just as much work into either of them.
That shows a lot, dude. How many auditions do you say you were getting a week over this last month? Like, when you started the auditioning process, how did it start out, and then what point did it get to?
Yeah, I remember getting my first audition I actually got 3 auditions in one night, but I'd never gotten an audition before. And they were indie films, and I got 3 in one night. I didn't get any of those roles. But it was like surreal, just to like get that email. They're like, okay, you know, we want to see, these are the sides. Like, just to get the sides alone. I was like, wow, like they're sharing a little bit of their project with me. So cool. And it was slow. And now I would say I get probably like 3 or 4 a week. I've done about 20 auditions in the last couple months.
Wow. And this is all without an agent or with?
No, I don't have right now. I haven't gotten representation yet.
That's still great to get 3 to 4 auditions a week with no representation.
I've just been, you know, all the casting pages, all the websites we use, Actors Access and all that, and casting networks and all that stuff. I dabbled in Backstage for a second, and I didn't really feel like it was benefiting my journey. I think I got 1 audition from the month I was on Backstage, and I was like it was like game shows and stuff like that posted on there, and I was like, obviously that's not something that grows your career.
Super broad on Backstage, I feel,
right. And if you want to see good results on Backstage, it's like, it's $100 day rate in New York, and I'm like, wow, like
get some fly out to New York for a couple of days.
And you got to be a local hire, like okay. But yeah, I'm just constantly on the grind, constantly on the hustle, always looking for an audition. This recent role I got, I was like, I'm gonna, you know, lay off the auditioning for a second and really just focus on the character development, because it's the biggest role I've landed so far. And but then like an audition comes around and I'm like, oh, that looks fun though, I want to do that. Like, so then I'll like sway away for a second and do the audition. I've done like 3 in the last week, and they were all just so different and so much fun. But yeah, it's been busy, and it's been a blessing that it's been busy.
As an actor, how does it help you when you've prepared all your material for an audition, you get up there and you do your slate? In that moment, how does it prepare you? How do you feel as the actor in that moment of, okay, I've done all this work for the character in the short time I got this audition. Now, when you get up there and you do the slate and you're about to roll into your audition, what's that shift look like from you? Like, how do you bring all your preparation into the character for this audition?
Excuse me. Yeah. Just to tie it back to what we were just talking about, all the preparation that goes into it and creating that like inner monologue of just completely separating myself from it. I've developed such a circumstantial case for every audition that I'm just so in the moment, and it's just everyone is so raw. With the slates especially, like, you see all these things like, it's just a slate, like, as I've learned not to take the slate so serious, it brings out more and more of your personality, just because you're just introducing yourself, Like, at first I was like, hi, I'm Terry Pierce, I'm 6'3", I was just like, it was just so like reading off a newspaper kind of thing. And now I've learned to like have fun with it, and I like to tie the character into my personality when I'm slating as well. Like, I had recently done an audition where the character was like a nervous, he's very nervous, very unassuming. And so that's how I started my slate in a sense. I was like, hi, just kidding. Hey, how are we doing today? And like kind of just like made that switch just to show that you have that like inner personality. And you'll be fun you're fun to work with. And that's a big thing too, is being, directable and being a good time on set. And another thing, just to tie back to what we were talking about in preparation for it, I never commit to how I'm going to say things, or, really ingrain in myself how it's supposed to be done, because you have to be so ready for, the best thing you can hear is, okay, now do it this way, because they like what they saw. They want to see if it was a fluke, or if you got it. So, they're like, oh, do it desperate now. So you don't want to marry how you're going to say the words or how you're going to feel in that sense, because you have to be ready to make that switch.
To touch on that, I remember you were telling me a little bit ago about an audition that you did in person. It was your first one, right? And they had you do that exact thing that you're talking about, where you had to do it different ways. How was that when they asked you the first time, like, oh, do it a different way?
It felt so good.
Yeah.
As Matt Damon and Ben Affleck say, the worst thing that can happen is getting okay, thanks. That's what they call it. You go do your audition and they're like, okay, thanks. And you're like, well, not getting that one.
Yep.
Like,
I get the fuck out.
Yeah, right, next. Thanks for coming in. But it felt incredible when they were like, they actually had me do that audition with the lead actor for that project. It was so cool. He's like, okay, now, like, there was a moment where he's yelling because the guy comes in, disrespects him, and you're like trying to get him to turn around and give you his attention again. And they're like, yeah, but do that scene again, but do it desperate, Now you're falling apart. And like, just to hear like, let's do it this way, I was like, yes, like that's. They at least they liked a part of it, you know what I mean?
They got to guide you a little bit, and you got a feeling
just
of
to
what
be
that's
like ready to be directable is so important. But then it was like cool to see like, oh, what a unique twist on this, because I didn't see the character saying it that way. So then you get to apply a perspective to the character that you didn't even think of yourself, and you're like, oh, cool, that would actually come off really genuine. So it felt incredible.
And in that moment, you didn't change your character at all, right?
No, you never change the character. Never change the character. All the work, just because they say do it angry, it doesn't mean you're an angry character now. It just means the character you've developed is now angry in this moment.
You have an angry look in this moment,
Truly, you never change the character.
In that moment when, and it's kind of a double part question here, what are the moments where you haven't, so let's say you did your audition and you don't get a call back, compared to you get an audition and you do get a call back? What are those two moments like for you, and how do you feel like it's humbled you and changed you as a person in those moments where, I put all my thoughts and my process and my work into it, and I go in, I try to nail this audition the best I can, and I feel like I did a bad job, but I get it. Or where I feel like I did incredible and I don't get it. So what are those two moments like for you when you get the call back and when you don't get the call back?
Yeah, I try to follow the rule of submit and forget, you know what I mean? And it gets easier as time passes, because there's times where I feel like I absolutely, like you said, I absolutely nailed an audition, and I was like, that felt so good, and then it's just like crickets. And you know, it's there's so many more no's in this business than yeses,
100%.
and
100%.
and like I said, I try to forget about it. I remember that in-person audition, like the entire drive back, it was like this like inner monologue in my head of like, why did you say it like that?
Oh,
why
no,
did you do
yeah.
it like that? And I was like, okay, I got to push that out of my head,
stop.
like, because it'll fester.
Yeah,
and, like,
for sure.
And I remember for a recent project, I submitted, and I didn't think I did very good, and I didn't get the role, so obviously I didn't do that great. But I remember I was working out, and over my AirPods it was like, you know, blank studios has emailed you, and I was like, what? And it was just like a thank you for submitting kind of email. And I was like,
come
like,
on.
I was like, my heart like skipped a beat, and I was like, there's no way, like, so I try not to let it get to me, you know, because it's just, that's gonna be this entire journey, this entire adventure is gonna be not yet.
You have to be able to take the no's and roll with it. Yeah, as many as they come.
In those moments, when you get told no, right, do you feel like there's a lesson that you learn from each audition that you do that's like, okay, why did they tell me no? And sometimes it's just based on, well, he doesn't have to look for what we want. But do you kind of take it aboard to where, because me, honestly, I take each loss, so I coach sports, right? And my whole philosophy is each loss is a lesson. What could we have done better? What could I have done better? What could have been better to where maybe that result doesn't happen? You know what I mean? So when you get told no in an audition, what goes through in your head? Like, okay, how could I have done this better? But what can I just do the next time? You know what I mean? Like, I got another audition to do. So what do you kind of take from it?
Man, I'd almost take a no better than what the usual no is, which is just getting ghosted, you know, no reply. Like, you're like, all right, moving on. Like, yeah, I definitely feel as time goes on, you know, the auditions get stronger.
Yeah.
And I get more natural and more grounded into what I can bring to the table. But yeah, I take it in stride and I take it as a lesson, but then I move on. You know, I try not to, you know, I learn from it, but I try not to let it weigh on me. I don't want to hold on to every audition I've done going into the next audition and thinking about why I didn't get a call back. But when I got the next role I had, which was for an indie film, it's Spin the Bottle. Shout out Patrick Nelson, great director. That was an incredible experience on set. He was so personable and just so easy to work with. Even to like, you know, on a lot of sets, you know, they'll just like announce over like, you know, intercom kind of thing. That's how it feels. They're like, you know, let's try it this way. Let's say more excited or, you know, more eager or more suspicious. His redirects were so, like, he'd come to you and kind of just like, you know, let's try to say this a little more excited. Like, his redirects were personable, and that was a first for me. And that was such a great set to be on. And I was only in one scene in that film. But when I remember doing my first table read, which was for that, and it was just, I mean, it was surreal. It felt so good, and it felt like, you know, the work's paying off, and I'm doing the right thing, and just like dive into it. Even when I'm nervous in like a table read setting, right when it gets to like my part, it's like the nerves are gone. It's like you redirect that nervous energy, and you're in it. And then you get done with it, and you're like, wow, like that went great. Like, and
you kind of need that nervous energy too. I feel like you have to hold on to that. You can't let that go, because that's what drives
to your advantage.
Exactly. Yeah. And you're there with fellow actors too, like that table read. So I could imagine that's like another thing in its own way, like being there. Because in class, you know, you're with other actors that are like learning. But at a table read, you're there with other actors that have already gotten the part, like you have. Yeah,
and it's so beneficial because you're like, they picked me for this, and like they picked me for a reason. Yeah. And I did something right. You know what I mean? So, you know, the callback compared to the not callback is just, it's so exciting. Just to get the audition though, and I mean, in the beginning of it is incredible. Like, wow, they're like sharing their work with me. You know, they're sharing a snippet of their work, and like they want to see my take on it. And, you know, whether it's good or bad, it's still just such an incredible process to be a part of.
Jordan, what about for you? What's your process when you do auditions in your tape process? You know what I mean? Do you kind of have a similar unorthodox process as Terry?
It's
what does your process go?
it's pretty similar to Terry's, to be honest with you. So I go through the script, I break it down how we were taught in class, right? Beginning, middle, end, all the character objectives, overall objective, scene objective, and then I go through and I highlight the dialogue afterwards, and then I start reading it time and time again. I read it through like, dude, probably at least 200 times before I actually do anything. As far as auditions go, I haven't done many, to be honest. I haven't done that many. I did a couple last month, didn't hear anything back, crickets. And I did one recently, it was for a video game. It was a voiceover role.
So cool.
That one was sick, but I had this little makeshift office in my room because I don't have like, professional equipment like this at home. So I pull out my phone, I go in my closet, I put all my clothes around me because it's like a walk-in deal, and I like sit down. It was so makeshift, but it sounded great. Like, to be honest, once it was done, I thought it was really good. And then like Terry says, send and forget. And then still haven't heard anything back. But it's okay because you just have to keep doing it. That's the thing. You can't get discouraged. And like something will come about it too. You have to trust that there will be the right thing for you at the right time. I want to get into stuff like you guys, like these short films, indie films, student films. That's what I'm really looking for. But I'm open to like whatever, actors access, all that. You just have to like put yourself out there. If you're not putting yourself out there, then you're not getting anything.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And those indie films are crucial. I mean that's your resume builder, and that's where you get your real footage from and stuff like that. And that's how you can even you get the agent and then you start submitting for bigger roles and stuff like that. You have to have they say to have like 3 to 5 indie films on your resume before even moving on to like the bigger leagues in a sense.
It's a part of the process. You have to do it. How many projects have you done now? Because you were just talking about a couple there, and you're working on one now.
Yeah. So we start filming for Echoes June 3rd. It's a psychological thriller.
Okay.
Definitely going to be a good watch.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can't talk too much about anything when it comes to like the plot or anything, but
Right.
some twists and some turns and some real strong character development and a lot of character arcs in the script. So it's going to be such a fun process.
Do we have a time of release on this that we can look out for?
Yeah, it's due to release. I mean, they're going to be hustling in post-production because somebody commented on the movie page when they kind of did like a trailer for it the other day and was like, wow, this looks so cool. Like, when is it coming out? And she said this summer. So
wow, that's a quick turnaround.
I was like, my man's going to be, post-production's going to be hustling.
Man.
For it to come out that quick.
Instantly, yeah.
Yeah, they're doing like a massive watch party for it, and they want to do like a film festival tour on it.
Wow.
So yeah, I definitely have high hopes for it because the people I'm working with, the script they developed, and the vision they're bringing to life is insane. It's actually like a close group of friends, like director, producer wise and stuff like that.
Nice.
And they've wanted to make this movie almost their entire life, this specific one.
Oh, wow.
So just to like be a part of it and to bring their vision to life, their like life vision, and to like represent that for them is an honor. But yeah, it's gonna be a great film.
Oh, that must feel amazing. Yeah, especially since it's like they've been working on this for so long. Reminds me of Whiplash, how that was started off as like a student film.
They rewrote the script like 8 times.
Really?
Yeah.
So they care about this.
Yeah. Oh, they care about it a lot. Yeah, it's gonna be an incredible project.
So we have 2 things to look out for this year. We have yours in the summer, and then we have Amari's short film as well.
Before I touch on that, though, I want to know real quick. So you go through your entire process before you get Echoes, right? You go through the audition process from you. How, obviously you haven't started shooting yet, but how were you able to bring back the character from the audition and what's your thought and your plans and your process as you look forward to shooting? How are you going to pull him back in now every day? Now, how can I spend more time with him, right? Because obviously you created the backstory, you created the why, you created his purpose for why he lives, right? How are you going to bring that into set?
So just before I dive into that, this was actually the most difficult audition I had. I didn't get to do any of that prep because this audition was a cold read audition. They said they were going to send me the script via Zoom 5 minutes before Zoom. So, and when you cold read, you have to go through the script. You don't try to memorize anything. It's just, you try to see the setting, what relationship do I have with the person I'm talking to, who am I, what do I want? I mean, it's just like quick bullet points. And then I actually got on Zoom before they even sent me the script. So I got 0 minutes to prepare for it. So it was tricky because, you know, we all know how we feel about cold reads in the acting process.
So real quick, tell us the difference for you between cold reading, gotta hustle, gotta get it done quick, instinct on the fly, rather as an audition where you get the time, you get sent the tapes, you get time to develop a character. How's the difference like for you for both cold reading an audition and doing an actual audition?
You know, before this audition, I definitely preferred, and I would still say I do still prefer to have that preparation to build the character and come in prepared, where I can just be so focused on my reader and, you know, bringing the scene to life. Because cold reads are tricky. You know, you have to steal the words off the page and still be interactive. You don't want to just go in there and, you know, be reading off the script, because there's no life in that. But what I learned from this cold read was, when you don't have the time to prepare and build a character, it also allows like great things to happen, because you just dive into a character. You're like, I'm gonna say it this way, and I'm gonna do it this way, and I'm gonna feel it. You don't have anything in the back of your mind saying it should be done a specific way based off the character you built. So it definitely allowed some freedom to it. If you get past the nerves of cold reading, there was this like beautiful freedom to it where you were like creating this character on the go and just like rolling with it. And so it definitely brought a freedom to it. But I still think I prefer having the time to build a character, because you can just bring it.
Did you feel confident when you were cold reading it? Did you have a sense of confidence when you just went with it, when you made that jump?
Before even when we were already on Zoom, I felt like I was going to puke. I was like, man, I'm terrified right now. But then the first line in the script that we cold read was my line. And it was just like activated. Like once we started on the script, it was like straight into talking like my character.
Winter Soldier.
Yeah, it was just like this thing came out of me, and I was just like immediately into the scene, and all the nervousness was gone. Even like talking to them, introducing, they're like, "Oh, tell us a little about yourself," and I was like, "Whew," you know. And then we started reading, and I was ready. Somehow, and you know, all the training, I guess, and everything we've been taught, but. Yeah, it was soldier mode, like you said.
They love to see that. They love confidence. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, actually, I got the role, which is unheard of in the industry, at the end on the spot. Right, there was no callback. They were like, I don't want to jump the gun, but we love you, and let's write up a contract. And then I was just like ear to ear smiling, and like it was surreal. I remember waking my girl up, because that's another thing too, is like, we're gonna do this at 9 p.m. and like I was like, I need new lighting then, because I use natural lighting a lot too, along with the lights I have. And I remember just waking her up, and I was like, because earlier in the day she's like, what if you get in on the spot? And I was like, that doesn't happen in this industry.
She knew,
and
she spoke.
I woke her up, and I was like, it happened.
Women got a natural speaking things into existence.
Yeah, and she did.
So circling back a little bit now. So you got the character, you do the cold read, you went through the fast process. Now that you get a little bit more time to get to know the character, hey, I had to meet you on the fly. Now what are you prepared to bring into the shoot?
I've never put in this much work into a character. I want to represent their vision so beautifully and accurately. I mean, to the point where like my character is a real estate agent, and there's not even like real estate heavy scenes in my without giving away a lot in my performances, but I want to know my character to the point where I'm like going to like open houses and like studying real estate and like listening to real estate podcasts, and like every day I do a routine and journal as if I was him, you know what I mean? As if I was that character. What is my daily regimen?
You spoke about that
as a real estate agent. Yeah. I've gotten so in depth with it. I journal as the character every day. I've created this backstory, and why he acts the way he acts, and his daily routine. I mean, to the point where like when I'm like, you know, I try to run every day, but like to the point at the end of my run, I'll like hop on the phone and do like shadow phone calls to clients and like pretend I'm going to sell this huge house or this huge opportunity, or like the two other real estate agents I compete with. I'm like talking to them on the phone. You know, I'm not, but I am, in the sense of like, you know, you took my client, and like, you know, speaking all their terminology and all that. So I've definitely like applied a lot of like method to it. I didn't think I was going to, but I've put a ton of work into it, and I'm gonna bring a lot to the table.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
We're totally looking forward to it.
Yeah,
the work that
I'm
you do.
extremely looking forward to it.
Kind of leaving the audition talk here behind now, as we kind of cap this off. What's your advice? What's 3 tips to all actors on how to just nail a good audition? It don't have to be perfect, obviously. It doesn't have to be great. But what are 3 things you're gonna tell all actors do when they try to audition? Give everybody some advice here.
Yeah,
a little bit of keys to the secret.
Absolutely, and it kind of ties back to what we talked about a little earlier. But it's so beneficial when you create a good audition, because you can bring it to set. You know, you created such a performance in imaginary circumstances. You know, you're not on set, but you know, you've created the setting in your mind. You're not talking to the other actors, but you've created the characters in your mind. So treat the audition like you already got the job. You already got it. The second thing would definitely be what I tell myself every time before I start a tape or an audition is, you've prepared something special for them. Show it. Show the specialness you have inside you. Show the work you've put in. Like, don't. And third most important, I would definitely say, just direct your nerves. Don't try to bury your nervousness, because that's natural. You know, it's human instinct. Just direct them to the physicality of your character, or, you know, just direct the energy right. You know, take that nervousness and put it into your character. You know, and it'll come to life, because, you know, as humans, we're nervous. You know, it's a part of it, and that brings a realism to your character. You want it to represent humanity as much as possible. So, I mean, I treat it like I'm on set already.
There we go, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
That's
What would you say? 3, 1. Just a couple things of advice in your position. 'Cause, I mean, you just did a film where you were 2 characters, so you're doing something right. You know what I'm saying?
Brief off of that real quick. So the process of that alone, my process of doing 2 characters, and I guess this is something every actor can necessarily take, but doing 2 characters is crazy, because now imagine all the work you do just for one, just to get one guy right. Now you gotta kind of do it for 2. And so to me, the trickiest part about, so I just came off this short 5-minute feature, and the trickiest part about doing the entire thing was I had a great sense of an idea and a backstory for one of the characters, because he's cocky, he's confident, he's smooth talking, you know what I mean? But getting that other one down, who wants to do something drastic, who wants to do something crazy, who feel like life's giving up on him, who feel like everybody's giving up on him, and he wants to do something crazy, getting him down was, it's like, okay, that's where I really needed help from Nina. I really needed her to come in and kind of guide me on who this guy is, and kind of just guide me on who both the guys are. I feel like, to me, my process, same thing that you guys kind of talked about, is when I got the script, I read it, I kind of just skimmed through it to get an idea what the story was about, but then I read it again, and that special read, I call it the special read, where I read it the second time, was me, okay, ooh, this is what the story is about, this is what the scene is about, this is where, and now I start getting ideas of, okay, I'm playing both these guys here, right? How do I, where are they coming from? You know what I mean? And so the third time when I read it was, okay, once again, what's the process? Why are they in the room? You know what I mean? Why are we here? Why do you want to do something crazy? Why does he want to do something crazy? And then that final 4, 5, 6 time every time. Like, I just kept going back to it. Because, you know, once you get the script, it becomes a daily part of you. It becomes a daily essence of, have I read it? Have I checked it? Have I did this yet? Then you start learning the lines. Then I have my own process when it comes to doing lines, right? But then you start going through the lines. So when I get to shoot day, for me, realistically, man, it was bringing, like you said earlier, emotion. It was tying some emotion to both characters and understanding the difference between both, you know? Once I got a chance, because I only had like 2 weeks to really prepare for this role.
And to actively switch between 2 characters' emotions. I mean, there's you and there's Michael B. Jordan, and it's
right. To actively switch as 2 characters was tricky, and I like it. It's a challenge, because you're coming from, that's 2 different minds, 2 different worlds, 2 different philosophies, 2 different whys. and to actively switch going back and forth, once you get an understanding of it, it becomes easier as you're shooting. It becomes easier. But kind of going into it, man, and knowing that the character I was shooting as first, like, I'm ready. Like, I was talking with Jordan yesterday, and I said, if people watch this and they kind of get that, they kind of go through that little emotional ride, then I'm cool with it. I'm cool with the film. And then me, I'm cool with my performance in it because I feel like, to me, I was able to go through on an emotional journey myself playing both these guys. You know what I mean? Like, and just be able to pull them when need be, to build them and create them and give them to the world. That was special to me. And I went through a similar process where I'm writing as a character. I'm speaking as a character right before the shoot starts, you know, because right before you say rolling, set, action, you already got to be there. You already got to pull him out. He's already got to be presented to the world. So playing two characters is fun. Mm-hmm. Would I ever do it again? Probably not. Because of the process of it. Because of the process it takes. Because it amplifies so much more what you have to become, right? But what it brought out of me was, now I understand inner monologue. I understand the vision. I understand of how to deliver certain lines as both characters. You know what I mean? And making those shifts as an actor. Cause
did you have to audition? Sorry, but did you have to audition the two characters?
So I know I didn't have to audition because the director, I'm cool with him. He said, I'm gonna write this. Just see if you can do it.
Oh, wow.
But I did have to rehearse. I had to rehearse
Naturally.
multiple times. And to me, that was, when I was rehearsing, that's when I really found both the characters. You know what I mean? Like, as rehearsing, you're speaking and you're rehearsing as character and you're dressing as character and you get an idea of the character. So for me, that was pivotal. Like, okay, this is where I kind of went through that balance of an actor struggle creatively as, well, how am I going to give it? So I just recommend everybody, man, you got to always do some type of short feature. Mm-hmm. Always got to do some type of small short, man. Mm-hmm. It really amplifies your work. And I'm happy for it to come out in October. Like I said, am I going to do 2 roles again? Fuck no. Hey, some quick hitters, man. Let's kind of want to get into it, man. Quick hitters to end. It's kind of as we get into the closing of the show here. What are 4 movies that define you? 4 films that define you, or TV shows?
Yeah,
4 films that define you as a person.
I mean, yeah, I could list a lot of TV shows, but I'll try to keep it to movies for you. I'm gonna hit you with 5 though, instead of 4. Yeah. So and I can even dive into why I find these movies so inspirational in my journey. I'm gonna go Gran Torino. I'm gonna go Goodfellas. Okay. I'm gonna go I Am Legend. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have to go Wolf of Wall Street. Mm-hmm. Leonardo DiCaprio is one of my favorite actors. And then there was a 5th one that I really. It was 2 actually, because Bronx Tales was one I was trying to throw in there as well. But no, I'll just give those to you. Yeah, I'll just throw those at you. I feel like I Am Legend is such a directional movie for an actor because you have to carry the entire film. I mean, you're talking to a dog and mannequins the entire film. And then Gran Torino, I mean, just by like one growl he does of a line, you can see like 30 years of backstory. Oh, Training Day. Thank you, man. I'm so glad it's wrapped. That's the one I really wanted to say. I almost forgot it. I can't believe. Sorry, Denzel.
You think y'all gonna do this to me? You think y'all gonna do this to me? Basketball, Pelican Bay when I get.
No, I mean, but that story alone is like, it shows that a hero is. I mean, a villain is really just a hero that's justifying his own work. You know what I mean? His own decisions, because he's just been around so long. And The Wolf of Wall Street shows that you don't have to be likable. You just have to be undeniable, and his performance is undeniable. TV shows I could talk about forever. I have so many TV shows I love.
We're gonna have to do another separate episode,
right?
Yeah, just for TV shows.
Just for TVs. Jordan, what about you? What are some
films
that define you as a person?
Oh, films that define me as a person.
Give me 3 or 4.
3 films. I'd say I'm gonna put Inglourious Bastards on there because I love that film. The way the story tracks the whole way through. Interstellar, obviously one of the greatest movies of our time, and I'm trying to think here. I'm gonna throw a show in there. I'm gonna put The Bear in there.
Really?
2 movies in a show, yeah. 'cause
That
The
culinary.
Bear, it's so real, it's so raw, and something about it. I love
Jeremy
how
Allen's such a great actor. So.
he's great. I would love to be a part of something like that because it feels so just like they put you in the setting and they're like, okay, go, speak your lines, just be your character. Like you've already dug deep and you be that person.
My turn. Here we go. I'm gonna go.
Moment of truth.
I'm gonna go. Man on Fire. Directed by Antoine Fuqua. Is it Fuqua or Fuqua? Fuqua. Yeah, also director of Michael. Movie of the Year. Starring Denzel Washington. 2004 or 5. Just his direction and his purpose to try to really help somebody. I always feel like I'm a helpful person. So, Man on Fire. That's one. John Creasy, man. Have you seen the Netflix special yet? It's incredible. You gotta watch it.
It's a good watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of had this down in my head. Now I forgot it. I'm gonna go. I gotta be quick hitters. First film that comes to mind. It's gonna be. I'm gonna give you a TV show. I'm gonna go Daredevil.
Okay.
I speak about Daredevil so much. I love Matt Murdock's sense of you're always juggling 2 different personalities. You're always juggling trying to be a lawyer and you're juggling trying to be a superhero. Me, I feel like I juggle a lot of things I dive into because I also coach sports as well. So it's kind of like you got to be 2 and then I act. So it's kind of you got to be 2 separate people. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go Daredevil, Matt Murdock. That's definitely a classic. And then I guess the third film or TV show that defined me as a person, I'm going to have to speak. This right is tricky. I'm going to go.
It's hard to narrow it down.
It's hard to
Yeah.
because there's so many good stuff out. I'm just going to go. I always take the most time defining stuff. I'm going to go. I'm trying to think of another Denzel film for some reason. No, kill it. I'm going to go Black Panther.
Okay.
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
2018, directed by Ryan Coogler. Yeah, because it's just, he's a leader. You know what I mean? And the adversity he faces in the movie, I feel like we all face adversity in everyday life. Real quick, kind of end it off here. Keep it or cut it. AI in Hollywood.
Cut it. Gosh, cut it. I don't know if you guys saw the commercials for the Super Bowl this last year, but it was just like it went from like this like creative, beautiful process of like the most entertaining commercials on the planet to every commercial being AI.
They were awful.
And it was horrible. They were all horrible. I mean, that's what acting is. AI can't have that emotion. They don't have any humanity.
There's nobody up there when you look
it's
in
just
the
blank.
eyes.
It's just blank. And cut it all the way.
For sure.
I cut it too because, and I saw Seth Rogen speak about this too. Was it Variety a few days ago about screenplay writing as AI, and he basically said, bro, if you're using ChatGPT or some type of AI software to screenwrite, then you don't respect the craft. You don't respect the craft of writing a good screenplay. So I think I would have said go for it. I think I said go for it a couple weeks ago, but I'm starting to lean on the verge of I want it gone because it's like it's a shame that some people try to use the cheat way out of AI. You know what I mean?
Well, it takes the creativity out of it
away.
in the sense of like when you write something, even as like a stand-up comic or a drama or anything you write and it fails. I mean, that's how you get better.
Yeah.
That like
that's how you get better as
fail
an
and
actor
succeed
and as a
and
writer.
fail succeed is so human and so part of the process. And if you're having AI do the entire work for you, you're just gonna stay exactly where you were.
What about you? You keeping it or you cut it? AI.
Cutting it.
We all say cut at the table, man, for AI. There's
insane. Some AI that they're adding into films at the end where they're changing scenes that actors did to amplify the emotion. So it's like
situations like that.
It's faking the emotion like if they didn't bring it enough, and I'm like, that's crazy.
That sounds awful. Yeah,
it's horrible.
Yeah, just get the actor back to do it again.
Right.
Just get the actor back to do it again. Let's go writer's strike. Let's go paying writers in Hollywood. You know, I've heard there's going to be another strike soon to come up. Do you feel like writers? I hope not here because we ain't gonna have no jobs. Right. Do you feel like writers should get paid more?
Oh, 100%, absolutely. I mean,
so we're gonna keep the cut was the writers' protest, but I think we should keep it too. I want writers to continue speaking out.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't want the flow of Hollywood to be disrupted ever, but I definitely feel like they deserve more. Like, you know, when you perform a script written and the script comes off funny, I mean, you're not funny. The writer was, you know what I mean? Like he wrote the script for it to be that way. And yes, of course the actor portrayed it good, but it's coming off the way it is because of the writer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the heart. There's so much that goes into it.
Yeah.
No, that's you.
Keeping it for sure. Writers deserve so much. There's so much work that goes into it. Like you were just saying, it's hard. It's not easy. That's like 90%, or not 90% of the work, but it's a big chunk of it. We're just tools there as actors, you know. We're there to take the direction from the director, from the writer, from the producers.
That's why I have so much respect for John Berthal and his latest Punisher in One Shot, One Last Kill, because he wrote it. Well, he wrote half the script. He also directed it, and he also starred as the lead as Punisher in it. And just the craftiness of the way hearing him speak about how he went back to the comics to pull so many versions of Frank Castle. And who is Frank Castle really like? Is he really this super psycho killing maniac, or was he really a dude that lost his family and he's still hurting and grieving from it? And One Shot, One Last Kill is perfect.
He got to dig deeper with that one for sure. He dug really deep with that, and it showed.
Yeah, dude. I love the Punisher, man, and I love it. You a Marvel fan? Did you catch it?
No, I haven't seen it. Yeah, I'm a Marvel fan, but I haven't catched it yet. Yeah.
One Shot, One Last Kill.
For sure.
All right, to kind of close this off here, man, you've given us so many great gems today as actors. You've given the world so many great cues today and advice. What's your method motivation of success for you look like today, or for the week, or for the general as you step into your shoot, man? What's something that you just want to keep as an everyday motivation for you?
Yeah, there's 2 lines that I apply to everything I do, and really just lift me back up in the low moments. Is my favorite is like expression I live by: to be great, you got to let go of being good. You know, you got to get out of your comfort zone. I don't want to be good. You know what I mean? I want to be great, and that's a big one I live by. And another one that applies to so many of us that are, you know, breaking into this industry while maintaining a day job and coaching, is pressure is privilege. Pressure is privilege. You know what I mean? You're going to feel the pressure. You're going to be tired, man. You're going to be tired all the time. And that pressure is a privilege to be. I watched this in another podcast, and it's like, to be tired from something you once dreamt of doing, that's a privilege. Yeah. You know, and it's a beautiful thing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'll what about you guys?
It's always the same thing for me, man. Success is just survival dressed in patience.
I love that. Yeah.
You know, it's just survival dressed in patience, and patience is always a virtue and key. That's kind of like my method of motivation today. And as I grow to become a better actor, just always understand it takes time. You're going to get told no, kind of like how we discussed today, and just continue trying to be a better person. You know, what can you take from every job that you do? How can it help you be a better person? So that's what it comes back to me today.
My method of motivation is to dig deeper. I think you really have to find what you want. And I think that if you really want it, you're going to get it, and you're going to get things out of your way to get that thing. So in terms of acting, if you really want it, like yourself, you've gone through the lengths to go there and push for it.
Awesome.
So you'll know.
Yeah, you have to be starving for it. You have to love it. You have to love it, or it's never going to happen. Final motivation is you can only fail if you quit. So just keep going.
Yep. Just keep going. Can only fail if you quit.
Yep.
That's perfect, man. That's the perfect way to end the show, ladies and gentlemen. Right. Appreciate you guys for watching episode 3 of the Method Podcast. Catch us on YouTube. Catch us on TikTok. Soon to be on Instagram. Soon to have a live show coming at you this summer. We're going to talk more about
Thanks
that.
for having me, guys.
Terry, we want to get you back on, man. We want to get you back on. We want you to be a reoccurring a couple of times. You know what I mean? After Echoes, come back and talk to us about that shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'd love to.
Yeah, appreciate the gems we got from you today, man. Catch us on Instagram. Catch my man Terry on Instagram for any more information. And I hope Echoes goes well for you, man.
I appreciate that, brother.
I hope
it's gonna be a great project. I already know.
We'll be there. We'll be there to see you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you guys. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. Appreciate you.